Hey everybody, hope you're having an awesome Friday so far. I wanted to check in here real quick because I was listening to my training last night in my business school, and I wanted to bring you just a couple things that we spoke about, and I think it's really valuable for not just network marketers but everybody who is in any kind of business. I think it's extremely valuable that you are aware of financial education, because that is the key to all of this. If you want to be successful financially in life, you need to be really educated about it. And it's a little bit more than just a degree. You know, you really have to go through the rigors and make mistakes and all of that. So 4 keys that I'm going to talk about right now. Number 1, if you're involved in network marketing, it's timing and the company. 2, the financial education. 3, your ability. And 4 is influence. Okay? So those 4 things are what I'm going to go over in a little more detail. So I started back in network marketing in 2013, and I was with Beachbody. So when I joined, they were in year 7, okay? And I really did not think that made a difference, because when I first got into it, it wasn't because I thought that I'd build this huge income. It was more so to be part of something, maybe earn some money on the side, but I had fun with it, you know, and I did start to gain a huge income. But when I was in probably my third year there, I started to see my income start to level out, and I was working even harder, right? So it wasn't necessarily, I don't think, the age of the company. It was a lot of different things, but I can say that those who were in the Beachbody organization when they started their coaching businesses, probably in the first 1 to 3 years, they obviously were able to build a little bit more because they had a little more time than I did on me, right? They had a little more time on me. So they were able to build and get to a place financially a lot quicker because it was a trend, right? And you want to always be ahead of the trend or in that trend. So the trend is your friend. So we learned that in our business school. And so I was past the trend, per se, but that doesn't mean that you can't necessarily build a nice business. But your chances of catapulting and really going to the next level in it are a little bit more difficult when you're not in with the trend. Okay? So, and the company, you have to look at it itself. So when I got involved in my previous company, I thought that it was a great company because it had been established and Beachbody was a well-known name, and I thought that that was the best company for me to partner with at the time, just because I knew the programs and the products, and I believed in the mission and the vision and all of those things. So for me, that was a good thing. And you want to make sure that you also align yourself with things that are conducive to who you are as a person. So when I got involved with that company, it was right up my alley. So it was things I was doing anyway, right? So that was fine. And the company that I'm in right now is nutraceuticals. So it is, again, nutrition, supplementation. It's things to enhance health. And those are all things that I am about, right? Because my background is in health and exercise science and biology. So all of those things are important. Now, you also want to make sure that the company leadership is at a 10, okay? So not only, if you want to build a successful business, not only do you have to be a 10 in your understanding and education, but the company has to be a 10. And if you think of it like, if you're in a horse race, right? You could have the best jockey in the world, but if you don't have the fastest horse or the best horse, it's just going to make it a little more difficult, and your chances of winning are a little bit less. So you want to make sure that you are in the best vehicle for what your goals are at the time. So I thought I was in the best vehicle, but like I said, with that whole timing thing, I was past the trend, right? So before you knew it, everybody was a Beachbody coach, right? And it was well known. And, you know, my thing was, I think people, and this is going to go into what I'm talking about a little bit later, you have to separate yourself from every other person out there. If there are a lot of people who are coaches, for example, then what's going to make you different? Are you just going to post a sweaty selfie and be the same as everybody else? Or what's going to make them want to be with you? What's going to make you stand out? So this is why we teach in network marketing that you have to brand yourself. You can't just brand a product. You can't just throw that out there or do what everybody else is doing. You need to separate yourself somehow. And that's like with something you're passionate about, things that, you know, you can identify with other people that may be interested in those things as well. So that's a different live. But it's important because when you are in the beginning stages of a company, if you're in the first 1 to 3 years of a network marketing company that's going to last, and you know it's a 10 because of the leadership, maybe they have experience, maybe they have, you know, a great product, you know that their ability to go global is very high. Right now in the company I'm in, Viseo, we are it's 20 months old, and so we're in year 2. So I'm right in with the trend, and the leadership has built 2 other billion-dollar companies prior to this one, and they're already in 12 countries. So that just spoke volumes to me, because everyone who was in the previous companies of these leaders came back to join this company. So that showed me something too. Like if you have a leadership, you know, where you have people from other companies who worked with them previously coming to work with them again, then you know it's a good place. It's probably a very good place. And you can trust that. And if these were successful leaders as well, if you know, the highest distributors or whatever, if they're coming back to work with the established leadership in your company, then you know that that's a good place as well. So the next thing that you want to look at in that company is, are they making changes? Okay. Are they making changes that are conducive, helping your network and your distributors and team, or are they making things that are making it more difficult? I know in my previous company, I love my company, but a lot of the leaders were very concerned because the company started to make decisions that seemed to be taking away from the distributors. We went direct. We had 2 different sales channels. One was the network marketing, the other was a direct sales. And it tanked the volume for a lot of the leaders who had been in the company for a long time. That wasn't necessarily my issue. It just made it an additional obstacle for me, because it's difficult to get newer people on board to achieve the same level of success when they are competing against their own brand in a way, right? You know, because you could download programs and do things without even going through a distributor, right? You could do that in that company. So it was making it difficult for the people who were established leaders to really keep what they had built for years, and they saw a huge dip in their income. So a lot of people started to leave that company because the leadership was making decisions that was not necessarily in the best interest of them. That was not why I left. I chose to pursue an opportunity where I could get financial education, because that was what was missing in my particular team. It was retention and duplication. I'm going to tell you, if anybody out there is with Beachbody, I was a 5-star premier coach 2 years in a row. I built my business to where I left my full-time job, and I also was in Success Club 10. I was a Success Club 10 legend. Every single month that I was involved in that company, I hit Success Club, and I averaged between 15 to 30 points every single month on my own. Okay, so now you might be saying, oh, that sounds like me. But what I can tell you is what happens when and what that means is that I'm signing up anywhere from 10 to 20 people, right, a month, whether as customers or as distributors, right? That's what that meant. So what would happen though is that I would have people coming on board, whether they were coming on board as a customer or whether they were coming on board as a distributor. Maybe they were coming on just for the discount, or maybe they were coming on to actually work the business. But either way, the retention was not that long. Yes, it's a great product, and my customers a lot of times, I gained that residual income, that passive income for a long time on customers who stayed on the product. But unless you're bringing something else to the table for your distributors to where they learn how to, you can have the system, the training system, and show them the duplication process and show them how to do it. But unless they have the education as to why they're doing it, they're not going to know what the importance is, and they're not going to see the vision, right? So to me, my problem was always right there. I would have people on board. I would educate them in terms of the system, the trainings, all of that, what they needed to do. But they would even be successful, but they wouldn't stay for the long term. And it was the type of person I was attracting, and it also was what I was missing, which was that whole financial education piece that I saw over in Viseo with my team, Overcome Nation. It's the only team in all of network marketing that has a business school, and I can tell you it has been a game changer. And this is why everybody's flocking over here when they see that their businesses aren't doing as well as they once were. They're doing that, they're coming across to over here because they see that we have this huge retention rate, and they don't have to do it alone. I don't know about anybody else out there, but for me, I felt like I had an amazing mentor in my previous company, but I also felt as though it was my responsibility as a CEO to educate, to train, to do all those things. And you sort of feel like the burden is all on you. But when you have an educational system to plug them into, imagine if you had college for your coaches, right? If you had college for them that they could attend, so it's not just you. And they're getting education not only on the business and not only on how to be successful, but they're getting this amazing financial education so that they can approach people of influence, and they can get people on board who understand business and who want to grow with you and who want to stay, because it is a certain mindset. Doesn't matter their background, just matters about the mindset. Financial education is the key. You have to be able to explain to people in confidence why network marketing is not a pyramid of what they traditionally say, and explain it with confidence. You have to be able to say that it's like an invisible franchise. And when you go to a small business owner and you point out pain points and you say, you can build a global business with no inventory, no trucks, no warehouses, right from your phone, no employees, no payroll to worry about. And you can do it for as little as $50 to start up to as much as $1,500, right? And if you're putting that in front of the right person, they're going to say, how? I've invested all this money into my business to start up, and you're telling me that for a maximum of $1,500, I can build a global business and teach other people to do that as well? Yes. So you need to be able to not just explain the comp plan and not just say, and you have to be proud of your business and of this industry, because so many people still have this stigma with it. And what I've learned being in my newer company now is, and with this business school, is that I need to be proud, and I need to talk and say the words multi-level marketing, right? I need to say network marketing, MLM, and it's okay, because I think in my previous company, it was always sort of like, let's keep it more of a secret of what it is. No, I'm not keeping it a secret of what it is, because you need to know why this is so lucrative, right? So the third thing that you need to know or need to have is ability. And ability means your natural ability. Now, not everybody is very naturally outgoing. A lot of people will say I'm an introvert. That's not me. I can't do something like that just because of that. like that I don't like talking to people, I don't like putting myself out there on social media. Well, the thing is, you can make this work with whatever way that you want to do it, right? You just have to find your natural abilities. Maybe you're not such an outgoing person, but maybe you're very good, you're a very caring person. Maybe you have friends and family members who really look to you for advice because they trust you. So you have to capitalize on what it is that you do have, and that's your ability. And other abilities that can be learned, things like organizational skills, being more, just organized with your time, getting into better habits overall, more productive habits. Those are all things that can be learned if you're willing to learn a skill, and if you're willing to go outside your comfort zone and learn something new, right? And the last thing is influence. You need to have a sense of influence over the people in your network. So that could mean anything from, just, you don't have to have it already, but you can build it over time, because you might say, oh, I have 5 Facebook friends. Well, that's okay. That doesn't mean that you can't build influence. You can join groups. You can, connect with other people that have similar interests that you do. And then you go and you make friendships, right? And you build your network that way. And then you bring content to them. You bring valuable content to them so that they start to see you as a go-to person for whatever it is that you feel is your niche, right? So for me, I'm health and wellness and stress management, and I talk a lot about all those things. And I also now talk about financial education and network marketing, because I'm learning this, and I like to bring all of this to people because it's extremely important, and it's the only way to retain your team. And like I said before, we have a 70 to 94% retention rate in our team, in our company, and that is because of the education. People are learning and growing so much that they don't want to quit, right? And I plug everybody that I onboard, I plug them into our business school. We get taught 3 to 4 nights a week live by people who have been successful in network marketing, for years, 20, 30 years, right? That they know the industry, and then that they can pour into us. And what the focus of the business school is it's a complete development program. So it is physical, spiritual, emotional, mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, and financial strength. So it's the 5 pillars. So it focuses on all of that. And you are built from the inside so that you can become better at these 4 things, at, understanding timing, understanding, what a good company is to look for, understanding financial education and how it applies to wealth creation, because that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about the greatest vehicle of wealth creation that's really out there that people don't want to acknowledge or talk about it when the numbers are there, right? Talking about your ability, enhancing your natural abilities as well as improving your abilities. And then you're talking about building your influence and using the influence that you already have. So all of this, it's a complete skill set and a development program that you go through. And the reason why so many people, like I said, are coming over from other companies, or they're choosing this vehicle right now, our business school, is because they want to learn how to do it the right way. Because it doesn't just stop at network marketing. It goes beyond network marketing. And we learn, now what do we do with the cash flow? Now what do we do with all these cash flowing assets that we've created, these invisible franchises, right, that we've created? What do we do with that money? So do we invest? If so, how do we invest? How do we do we pay off our debt? Do we, invest in something that's a tangible asset versus an intangible asset? What do we do next? And that's the key. I mean, I've gone to every seminar, every leadership event, everything, from my previous company. Never once did I learn how to maximize a binary, how to speak to a small business owner who has the networks, and how to really present this from a place of financial education where they can see how it's going to benefit them. How to talk about this industry in the terms of cash flow, in terms of intangible assets, comparing it to things out there that are already in the marketplace. Uber, Airbnb, Amazon, what do they all have in common? They own nothing, but they run everything, right? That's the exact same model as network marketing, multi-level marketing, you know, the bad word that people don't want to say. Oh, just brand yourself. Don't brand MLM. Well, you know what? I am branding myself and my knowledge of MLM, because this is what needs to be out there. You need to be talking about this industry and showing people how they can improve their financial status with it, right? If they work it part-time, if they work it full-time. You need to educate them on how this can improve their lives. Because what's the number one cause of, stress? Most of the time it's money, right? It all comes back to not feeling financially stable, right? And then stress can lead to so many other things. So we have to look at this in the right way, and we have to be educated, and we have to offer that to our team. If we want retention, duplication in our network marketing business, and we don't want to see it constantly going up and down like this, or you don't want to constantly have to be getting Success Club 30 every single month just to be able to make your bills because your teammates, they're just not on the same page, and you can't figure out how to retain them and how to make them see the vision that you have. You guys, that's what I struggled with. I struggled with that for 4 years. I could not find the people who were like I was, right? And you can never, of course you're going to get burnt out. You can never take your foot off the gas. And I was so frustrated, and I was tired of rebuilding my business over and over. And I was tired of the whole, you just run with the willing, which I do agree with, but let's create an environment where they all want to stay. So that way we're not just constantly looking out for new people, right? Yes, recruiting is extremely important, but wouldn't you like it if you had some lifers? If you had some people who wanted to stay, right? That's what I was looking for. I was looking for one person. All I needed was one person who wanted to run with me. And I could not figure out why I couldn't find that one. Now I have a team of people who want to run with me just because of the language I'm using and the financial education that I'm learning in our business school, and I'm putting it out there, and that's what's coming back. I'm getting small business owners, right? First time in 5 years I signed up a gym owner. First time, because I was able to present this business from a place of financial education, right? First time I'm able to get people of influence on board, professional people, right? And I am a professional. So we have to talk about this industry. We have to really understand the importance of the financial education. And if you have questions about this and you want to know more, I'm not every single month spamming and inviting to challenge groups and doing all of that anymore. I'm not, right? I'm not coming from a place there. I know now that I'm the person who is the funnel. All 4 of these skills that I've written down, the better that I get, that's what gets put into the funnel, and what the funnel spits out then is cash flow. The better that I get, the more my bank account fills up, because I'm able to attract better people. So if you want to learn a little bit more about that, you guys, I'd be happy to put you in an informational group that I have where you can see samples of our business school training. Would love to share that with you, because it's phenomenal. And if you're spinning your wheels, if you're in a company that keeps changing things up, if you've seen your volume decrease extremely, you've seen your income go down, then I know that you might think it's you. I thought it was me too. It's not always you. Just remember that. If you're doing everything that you can and you still don't understand why it's not working, you need to talk to me. All right, have a great day, guys.